Let's get started. Number 5. The sudden floor check reflex. You know that moment when you're walking in public, minding your own business, and then, for absolutely no reason, your foot decides to do a weird micro trip? Not a real stumble, just enough to make you look like you're trying to moonwalk on gravel, and suddenly you're pretending you meant to do that, like some kind of anxious street magician whose only trick is embarrassment. Well, congratulations. That awkward shuffle is a leftover survival instinct from when your ancestors were basically playing an endless, real-life version of The Floor is Lava, except the lava was snakes, holes, and ankle-breaking rocks. Your brain is still scanning the ground for hazards like your next meal depends on it, because once upon a time, it did. A single misstep could mean a broken leg, and in the Paleolithic era, a broken leg was basically nature's way of saying game over. So your nervous system, being the overachieving helicopter parent it is, occasionally fires off a quick, hey, watch your step, signal. It's like your brain is slamming the brakes because it saw a shadow that might be a saber-toothed tiger, but is actually just a leaf. And today, that instinct is mostly good for making you look like you're arguing with gravity in public. Your ancient reflex is trying to save your life. Modern you is just trying not to make eye contact with anyone who saw it. A fair trade, honestly. Number 4. The someone's behind me. Tingle. Imagine you're walking down a hallway at night. It's quiet, too quiet, and suddenly your brain is like, hey, what if something is behind you? So you speed up a little. Maybe you do that over-the-shoulder glance that absolutely never makes you feel better. Or maybe you do the full paranoid power walk as if you're trying to outrun a tax audit. That creeping sensation like invisible eyes sliding across your back is one of your oldest, glitchiest survival systems. 50,000 years ago, being alone in the dark wasn't peaceful. It was statistically unwise. Predators loved the nighttime. Other humans, less friendly ones, loved it too. Your ancestors survived because they assumed something was watching, even when it wasn't. It's the mental equivalent of locking your door twice, even though you know the first click was solid. Today, though, the biggest threat behind you is probably a Roomba or your cat plotting to trip you for reasons known only to cats, but your brain doesn't care. It still fires up that ancient warning system like you're being tracked by a jaguar instead of passing by your own coat hanging on a chair. It's dramatic, it's unnecessary. And it's absolutely not going away. Evolution basically gave you built-in spooky Wi-Fi that only works when you don't need it. So the next time you feel that phantom shiver, remember, your ancestors survived deadly predators so you could sprint to the light switch like you're in a low-budget horror film. Number 3. The panic when nothing is wrong alarm. Picture this. You're sitting on the couch, scrolling, relaxing, doing absolutely nothing wrong, when suddenly your chest tightens, your stomach drops, and your brain slaps the big red alert button like it's competing on a game show. No reason, no danger, just your internal security system testing the fire alarm at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. This delightful surprise is a prehistoric feature, not a bug. 50,000 years ago, being calm for too long was risky. If everything seemed quiet, ancient you needed to be ready for everything to not be quiet in about 3 seconds. So, evolution installed a hypervigilance mode that basically whispers, hey, what if something terrible is happening right now but you just haven't noticed yet? And then your heart rate skyrockets like it's trying to qualify for the Olympics. In the Paleolithic world, this burst of anxiety meant the difference between surviving an ambush and becoming a chew toy. It was a preloaded surge of energy and internal espresso shoto help you fight, flee, or in extreme cases, dramatically climb a tree. In the modern world, now it's just your body rehearsing for disasters that aren't happening. You could be in the safest place imaginable, your bed, wrapped like a human burrito, and your brain still thinks it's protecting you from unseen saber-toothed doom. So yes, your ancestors used this instinct to stay alive. You mostly use it to accidentally freak out while trying to relax. Evolution is quirky like that. Number 2, the startled by nothing jump. You're in the kitchen, peacefully pouring cereal, when suddenly a spoon clinks a little too loudly and your entire body reacts like someone fired a cannon. Your shoulders leap, your heart jolts. Your soul briefly leaves your body to file a noise complaint, and then you're left standing there, pretending you totally meant to flinch at the sound of breakfast. This dramatic overreaction is your startle reflex, an ancient, hair-triggered defense system that once kept your ancestors alive when unexpected noise usually meant something with teeth is nearby. Back then, if a twig snapped behind you, the correct response was not to calmly turn around. It was to jump out of your skin, spin like a caffeinated meerkat, and prepare to sprint uphill for your life. Your nervous system learned that any sudden sound could mean danger, so it reacts first and lets your brain figure out the details later. It's like having a personal bodyguard who's permanently overstimulated and slightly paranoid, helpful when you're surrounded by predators. Slightly embarrassing when you're surrounded by kitchen appliances. And because evolution is slow, this reflex never updated itself to match your modern environment. So now it's just a built-in jump scare generator that activates when your phone buzzes on a table or when someone says, "Hey," a little too enthusiastically. Your ancestors needed it to survive the wild. You need it to explain to people why you just almost died from the sound of your own cereal. Number 1. The freeze first, think later response. You know that awful moment when something unexpected happens, your boss calls your name, a car honks, a glass falls off the counter, and instead of reacting like a competent adult, you just freeze, not run, not jump, not even blink. You become a statue, a confused, mildly panicked statue whose only defense strategy is, maybe if I don't move, reality won't notice me. That embarrassing pause is one of your oldest survival algorithms. Long before binge watching and oat milk lattes, your ancestors lived in a world where freezing wasn't awkward, it was genius. If a predator spotted movement, game over. But if you could become a rock, or at least a rock-shaped human, sometimes the creature might lose interest. So the freeze response got baked into your nervous system like an automatic emergency brake. The problem? Your 50,000-year-old brain still can't tell the difference between a charging predator and someone dropping a fork. It just slams you into statue mode and hopes for the best. And while that was great for avoiding giant carnivorous cats, it's a little less impressive when your modern threat is someone asking, "Hey, quick question." Today, your freeze instinct mainly helps you pause awkwardly in social situations, fail to react during minor inconveniences, or stare blankly when you drop your phone. But don't worry, your biology thinks you're doing an excellent job not getting eaten. That's it for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.